Good morning to you. It's Friday, and after a Thursday night burrowing through the Premier League coupon and associated stats, I finally had a chance to film my We Love Betting video for this week. Back after an FA Cup break, of course, but before that, I got the treble up, which was long overdue, as we said. I haven't had the best of runs before that, so yeah, I suppose it was the least I could do for myself as well as anyone who happened to follow the bet. So hopefully got another 3 winners this week. Admittedly, time has been a little tight. The research probably not quite as in depth, but I've got 3 more bets here. 2 of them I really like. One of them is frankly just lazy, but we'll get onto that very shortly. First game then is Cardiff against Norwich. Norwich up in the heady heights of 14th. Despite the fact that it sounds like they're quite lucky to avoid defeat against Newcastle in midweek, and they always seem to just keep their heads above water. Often when you don't really feel they've got top quality to sort of survive at this level, just keep plugging away and get results from time to time, and they have got a few recently, it has to be said. Generally they still struggle for goals despite the signings of the summer, Gary Hooper and Van Wolfswinkel, etc. 18 strikes in their 23 games so far. That's the 18th best scoring record in the Premier League. Just 7 goals in 11 away games in all. The only sides, of course, to score less than that are Crystal Palace and their rivals this weekend, Cardiff, who've just got 17 goals in total. They've had a bit of a tough start to life under their new manager, but this has kind of been ongoing for a little while, whether you put it down to the turmoil or the fact that they're just a promoted club going through a difficult spell. It's 6 defeats from 7, the other one was a draw. And they're really struggling for goals, as we can see as well. Defensively, these sides aren't brilliant either. Only Fulham actually conceded more goals than Cardiff. So I'm steering towards unders here in terms of my bet, but that worries me a little bit. I often bang on about how bad defences are the key to over 2.5 goals rather than great attacks, and Cardiff haven't shown themselves to have a particularly great defence. That said, the bulk of their goals seem to have been conceded against the bigger teams. Conceded 3 against Arsenal at home, 4 against Chelsea. I think it's 6 over the 2 games they've conceded against Man City. So, when you actually look at their record against the lower sides, against 10th and below, actually 9 of their 11 meetings have been under 2.5 goals. 56% of their games overall. 65% of Norwich games have gone that way, which really reflects their inability to score. But they're, not brilliant defensively, but they do often set up to do so. And the big one here for me is that Cardiff, incredibly, have failed to score in over half of their Premier League games this season. 12 blanks they've drawn so far, and of course that's a league high. So for me, under 2.5 goals, it was 5 to 6 on Betfair last night. I'm not sure that price will be around for long because the majority of bookies were a lot shorter than that. So 5 to 6 at that price, I got stuck in. Next one is Everton v Villa. Everton have obviously had a miserable week. That horrible result against Liverpool will be one they want to forget pretty quickly. But a big part of that is the injuries that they're suffering. And, for all their quality, I'm a big fan of Everton, big fan of Martinez and the way that they're playing this season. But you have to say they can't really abide by having a lot of injuries. They don't have the depth. And to have lost Lukaku midweek, albeit with some good news coming out that he's not out as long as they thought he was, he's going to miss this one. Coleman still seems like he's going to be out. Been probably their player of the season so far, certainly a contender for it. Distan out as well, which means they've got a bit of a ragtag defence, if you like. Oviedo, of course, is missing as well now, and he looked like he was in some decent form covering for various parties. And it just makes you wonder when you look at the squad in suffering like this. The fact they've had such a terrible midweek, 4-9 for them to beat Aston Villa. Aston Villa, the side that we've already pinpointed in my last video as being a side that is definitely better away from home than they are on their own pitch. 18th best home record, 8th if it was just based on away games. So loads of arguments there already to suggest that these prices are just wrong. A Villa at around 7-1 is just an incredible price, really, and one on pure value terms should be backed. They've also got a great record at Goodison Park, not lost there since 2006. They've drawn 4 and won 2 of their last 6 visits. And they had a morale boosting midweek. That incredible game against West Brom, being 2 goals down and coming back winning it in that incredible style 4-3. You've got to think they'll be bouncing at the moment. 9-5 you can get for them double chance. I have to say there has to be a way to be with Villa here. Whether you're bold enough to go for the 7-1, you fancy the 9-5, which I certainly do, or you go down a similar route to what I went for the Liverpool game, which is both teams to score at even money. I always think both teams to score at even money is a pretty decent bet, particularly in a game like this where Everton's defence is not what it is. It isn't their first choice defence. Aston Villa haven't been brilliant defensively and do really play well on the counter-attack. I think that's abundantly obvious. Benteke looks like he's back in form as well, and they've scored 9 goals in their 4 trips to top half teams, so they can do against these big sides, and I think that is down to their kind of counter-attacking style. So both teams to score at evens is the bet, but take your pick from that. The 7-1 if you're bold, the 9-5 if you fancy Villa to get a result, as I do. Third and final one, very brief. And purely because I ran out of time, so I jumped on a bandwagon. Man City are 9-10 to beat Chelsea on this weekend, and I have to say, while it's not a stunning price, it's not one that you think, well, incredible value. This Man City team on its own pitch is just such an incredible force, and they're playing such incredible football at the moment that even if they're missing Aguero, they don't seem to miss a step. What will be interesting for me is that Mourinho criticises West Ham for parking the bus, as it were, but I fully expect him to do the same against Man City. What else can he do against this whirlwind of a Man City team? 9-10 you can get for them to win this game, and with that incredible record, I just think the opportunity to back them even close to even money is too good to miss, even if the bookies are pricing up to expect that kind of rush. So my 3 bets very quickly then, as a recap. I've got under 2.5 goals at 5-6 in the Cardiff-Norwich game. I've got Everton and Villa, both teams to score at even money. And I've got Man City to beat Chelsea at 9-10. Cheers guys, good luck.